things that you cannot see. So we have to work that faith muscle. See, some of us, and I'm going to put myself because we are family. When you go through, I go through too. So some of us, we are now struggling with a 5-pound weight. But we really should be lifting a 15-pound weight. And the reason that you can't lift your 15-pound weight is because you haven't mastered that 5-pound. And the reason that is so that you're always looking for someone to come and bail you out. You always call someone to get you out of your situation. But if you want your faith to grow, let me give you a little workout right here. If you want your faith to really grow, you got to say to yourself, I'm not going to call on mama, I'm not going to call on daddy, I'm not going to call on sister, I'm not going to call on brother, I'm not going to call on cousin, but I'm going to call on Jesus. That's how your faith works. That's a faith workout. Try it. Try it. He is able. Your faith has to be flexed every once in a while. You got to press your faith past what you used to. See, you got used to them 2-pounds. You can't even do a 5-pound. Because I can do the 2-pound all day long. I can believe God. That I'm going to have a meal today, but I can't believe, God, that my mortgage is going to be paid. Now I can believe, God, that when I take this Tylenol, my headache is going to go away, but I can't lay hands upon myself and have enough faith to believe that I'm going to be healed. Your faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So if you need stronger faith, you've got to be able to hear more words. All right. See, that's another exercise. Okay? Don't call on folks to bail you out and get into your word. Okay? So you got 2 workouts that you can do to increase your faith. All right. So for man cannot live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. So if you live by the word and if faith comes from hearing, then you have to be able to protect your ability to hear. You have to disconnect from anything and anybody that is interfering with whatever maybe God's trying to tell you, whatever's trying to stop you from hearing the word of God. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's your mama. I don't care if it's your daddy, because if God is speaking to you, he takes precedence over everything. God is a God of order. The word brings clarity. The word confirms. The word. See, that's why sometimes when you go to church and whoever is ministering at that time, they may say something that quicken your spirit. And say, I just read that. I just felt that in my spirit, because the word of God comes to confirm. It comes to confirm. So and the thing about it, you just don't need any word. All right. You don't need any word. The kind of word you need is called an engrafted word. The engrafted word is the word that reaches you. It comes while you're washing them dishes and God reminds you. Come on, somebody. He reminds you that he is your provider. He reminds you that he is your healer. He reminds you, especially to our young people that feel like they're alone, they don't have a husband. He said that I will never leave you. He said I will never forsake you. So it's that word that grabs hold of you. And it won't let you go. Let me help you today. It's not the word that you hear all the time that will keep you. It's the word that you know. I know Mother used to say, you got to know that you know that you know. And that's how it is with the word. You got to know the word. Because I can tell you the word all day long. But when you know it deep in your spirit, that no matter what that doctor said, he said already in his word, by your stripes, you're healed. It doesn't matter what the doctor's report says, because God already told you, no matter what, I took that beating, and those stripes I took was for whatever your situation was. So it's not just the word that you hear. It's the word that you know that will help you give the devil a black eye. Because the devil don't fight fair. But one thing I do know, that he has to obey the word of God. What do you do when you get a $700 unexpected bill in the Where is your faith? Hey, God, you said, I can tell you some of my conversations I've had with God. I said, God, okay, this is me and you. This is the stuff that you blessed me with. And you know, I've done everything that I could do. And your name is on the line too. So I've done everything that I can do. So right now, if you don't do it, it just can't get done. But I believe and I trust him. He's done it before. And he'll do it again. See, it's the word that sustains me. It's the word that keeps me. It's the word that has taught me that I can trust him. And the reason why I can trust him is that because of the things that he's already brought me out of.
All right now.
He's already done some things. And that's what God does. He'll do a little something, and let you know, I'm still here. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. But see, I need your faith to grow, so I'm going to pull back just a little bit and see who you're going to call on. See if you're going to call on mama. See if you're going to call on me. So you want mama to bail? Yeah, so I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to sit back. Because you want mama to do it. You don't want daddy to do it. You want mama to do it. You want sister to do it. You want cousin to do it. Come on now. See, God has already brought me through some bad times. And he's brought me through some very painful times. He's brought us all through some of these things. So this is not just about me. Remember, we connected. If he did it for me, he did it for you too. And so he's brought me through some accusation. We've all been lied on. Or even some of the things that we're saying was true, but it was none of their business. But the word has brought me through some very dark times in my life.
All right, come on. Tell us.
See, David was living in a very dark moment in the book of Psalms, and I believe David was running. He was running from his son. A father running from his son. This is a very dark place when you have to run from your children. David was not a stranger to dark moments. In fact, he had a lot of dark moments. David had dealt with trouble most of his life. Some of us feel that way too, that every time we turn around, there's trouble. See, David was raised in rejection. See, you know that he was put out in the field and left out there alone. He was alienated. And see, some of us may feel that maybe our friends, our family may have alienated us. Maybe they put us out. But maybe that put out, I'm not talking about in the physically, put you out of their home. But maybe what they done was just cut you off. Or maybe what they did was ignored you almost like you weren't there. You know, sometimes that's a form of rejection too. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not even going to answer your phone calls, Benita, when you call me. See, David knew those feelings, and David was left alone, and he had become so used to trouble. He had become so used to conflict. And every time he turned around, David was faced with trouble. He got up one morning trying to do a good deed. Going to take his brother some food to eat out in the field. And he had to fight a giant. Doing a good deed. Sometimes when we're doing good, we're still faced with some obstacles. Just because what you're doing is good, don't mean it's going to be easy. So David, he was always facing trouble. But David was a bad dude, y'all. I tell you, I love reading and studying David because, you know, he was a fighter too. Some fighters up in here. But, you know, he killed hundreds of men. He cut out their foreskin. He threw it on the floor. And then he began to look at the king and say, now what?
Come on.
That's a bad man. Now what? What? See, David was a man of war. He was a warrior. And David would fight at the drop of a hat. David was the kind of man that said, don't start none. Don't be none. That's how David was. You know, we got to go down. We just going down. You know. So he was like, if you ever want to start something with me, he said, I'll finish it up for you. That's how David was. But David was also a leader. He took a bunch of lower class, broke down, insignificant, unimportant, some blind and some lame men, and he trained them for war.
All right.
He trained them to be able to go up in warfare, and didn't nobody mess with him either, you know. But David wasn't afraid of trouble. I don't care how good you are at dealing with trouble.
All right.
Every one of us, we're going to run into some type of trouble that make us feel that this one is going to take me out.